Hey guys, it's xNira, and this is going to be a summon video as well as kind of a Blazing Shadows unit review. I'm trying to roll for Ninian, so I'm only going to pull blue orbs, and maybe green ones since I'm still forever trying to get Hector. So, kind of to start off, Ninian is really interesting because she's a dancer, but she's also a mannequin, which is really interesting. And the other cool thing, so I really want her because she's kind of like a poor man's Asura because she's a focus hero, so she'll be easier to get. But she also has the ability 45 Dragons, which we haven't seen yet, which gives +6 defense or resistance to adjacent units on their next turn, which is just something we haven't had before, so it'll be cool. And she also has Escape Route, which is really interesting to have on a dancer. So you can maybe like have her frontline for a bit, make it such that she gets Escape Route, and then oh crap, I forgot about this. I had to send home a bunch of units because I've been like hoarding units for inherit skills. Okay, so we're back, and I'm going to have to empty my backside again at some point, but I'll just do that later, because if we get Ninian at any point, I'm going to stop summoning and save it for the next banner, whatever that might be. So I think I was talking about Ninian and just how interesting a character she is, because she just has a lot of stuff that we don't have. So she's like Escape Route and Dance, I think will be really interesting because as a mannequin, she will be able to do damage on the front line, get under 50%, and then you have suddenly like a global dancer or like a warp dancer like in Fates, which is just unbelievably OP. And then Fortified Dragons is also really interesting, and if I get it, I will definitely be doing some mannequin teams and see how they go in the arena. So that's why I want Ninian. Plus, the only dancer I have is Olivia, and I don't really like Olivia. So kind of moving on to Karel, I just want to also preface by saying that Ninian is the only unit whose kit I've really looked at. I've definitely read through the others, but I don't really remember anything about them or what I thought. I remember thinking that none of them were super impressive, but yeah, we'll just see. So he has the unique sword Wodao, which gives grants +10 to damage when special triggers. That is really interesting. And his special is reprisal with a 2-turn cooldown and grants bonus. So it's like Vengeance, but not as strong. So that's really, really cool. That seems interesting. Let's see if I can find what his base stats are on the wiki. He needs to have really high speed for this to work. Where is it? Okay, so his neutral speed is 35, which is pretty good. But I think you're going to want to try and get a plus speed on this unit. I'm not getting any blues, am I? So he does have pretty good speed to back it up. Even if you don't get plus speed, he'll probably still be good. Define attack is interesting. Obviously he'd be stronger if he had Deathflow, because Defiant Attack, you obviously have to be low health, but it kind of does sync with his reprisal. So if he activates Defiant Attack and he gets his special, he'll get +10 damage and +30 damage or whatever of the damage he suffered, and he has pretty high base health, so it should be, you're going to get a lot of extra damage from that. Ooh, it's going to be a 4-star Camilla, because I haven't seen a 5-star Camilla since Focus. And it's a 4-star Camilla. So I have to say Karel is interesting. He's kind of like Lynn, but maybe... Ugh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Lynn, and I don't really like Lynn, so I have a feeling that I'm not super going to be interested in using Karel. Hello, Niles. Priscilla is, she's another mounted cavalry unit, cavalry healer, which is great because, you want your killer to be pretty mobile, usually. She's got Panic, which is... Oh! Yes, score! That's okay. We can stop summoning. I'll just finish up the interview. Let's see, actually, let's see what nature she has, because I can afford to be picky here. Actually, I don't know if people have the stats for, she might not be in the IV calculator thing yet, so I might not be able to tell. Let's see. No, she's not there. Okay, well, just looking at this. Yeah, okay, there's no real way to tell. But, okay, I'm very pleased. So, I'm gonna stop. Actually, I'm just gonna buy the other blue one. Because, who knows, maybe I'll get Azura. But for Priscilla, like, the only other mounted healer is Elise, who is very good. Oh my god, it's another Reinhardt. Interesting. Let's see what his IVs are. That was a pretty lucky, pull. I feel like I get really lucky. Reinhardt, okay. 16... Oh, he's got minus attack. He's got, neutral speed. And he's plus res. So, that's no good. We're just gonna merge him. Let's go do that now. Where is he? What is he gonna get? Speed and res. I guess every point of speed helps. So, oh, I'm so pleased. But we can now go look at Ninian, Priscilla. So she is a cavalry healer, as I was saying. Panic is kind of whatever. I think the top tier healer abilities are Pain, which does 10 true damage at 10 true non-lethal damage after initiating combat, and Fear, which gives you a -5 attack debuff. And then Assault is like maybe like a solid S tier. Panic is just like whatever. It's not like awful. It's better than this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's better than the weapon that that limits you to only one movement. Like that one's kind of like not that good. Rehabilitate is fine. It slows the special, but what you really want from your healer is like health. So Rehabilitate definitely gives you back health. And then Stillwater Bomb, Gannet's allies +4 res. I think of like the bomb specials for healers, I think the one that gives you attack and speed, are especially attack, are the only good ones, because the defensive ones are really hard to take advantage of. Whereas like having +4 attack is always going to be useful, and having +4 speed is always going to be useful, whereas like defense and resistance are a little more subjective, so I don't think this isn't great. And then spur defense is really good because we do not have, like, the C slot abilities for healers are kind of limited. Let me just look at the spreadsheet here. Colorless staff. Okay, so these C abilities, okay, sorry, we have a lot of C abilities, my bad. Fortified defense, fortified res, threaten attack, hone attack, and spur res. But those are all adjacency. Those are all like stand next to me for a turn, and then the next turn I'll give you the buff. Whereas like during combat abilities are I think are really, really nice because you don't have to like have it set up turn to activate them. So maybe Priscilla will probably be just a inheriting bot to pass down for defense, because like honestly, like I'd much rather have Elise with live to serve and spur defense than Priscilla, honestly. Let's go look at Elise, because I have an Elise. I can't remember exactly what. So she gets assault, which is just better, and recover, which I haven't really compared recover and rehabilitate, but 15 HP is great, and she also heals herself for 15 HP, which is nice. And then Kindled Firebomb is obviously better because it gives her attack, and then Live to Serve is great. So I think people are just going to, if they roll Priscilla, they're probably just going to merge her into their Elise, if they have Elise, because Elise is probably going to be better. I can look up what her stats are. Let's see. Priscilla. And then we can compare it to Elise again. Where did she go? So Priscilla has 6 more health and has 5 less attack. Although some of that's probably due to the weapon. She's a little faster, a little more, like slightly more defensive, which basically doesn't mean anything because their defense is crap. So it's slightly less crappy, but they're still going to die. And then she has lower res. So I'd say that like she doesn't have bad stats, but I don't know. I think Kindled Firebomb is better. If we can pass Kindled Firebomb, and like if we can pass specials and weapons, which it's looking like we can, I think Priscilla will probably just be worse because she'll have to you'll have to pass more things to her, whereas Elise already has Kindled Firebomb and already has a good heal and already has a good attack. You just have to pass a C skill from Priscilla and an A skill from Clarine, whereas for Priscilla you'd have to pass a weapon and a special and an A and B. So I think Elise will just be a more convenient cavalry healer. So let's see how long this video is. 16 minutes. It's gonna be a long video. But I'm gonna cut out the bit where I clear out my barracks, which will save some time. So Jaffar. I drew him earlier today when I was trying to. So his weapon is called Deathly Dagger, and it is like Poison Strike and a dagger all in one, which is kind of cool. So he gets the -7 debuff, which I think is the same debuff as Silver Dagger Plus, but let me check. So Silver Dagger Plus inflicts -7 defense and resistance, but then Deathly Dagger has that. It has more might, and it also has this extra like Poison Strike effect. So Deathly Dagger is really good. So he's like kind of like, this is like not power creep, but like this weapon is overloaded. And then he gets Night Sky, which is like whatever. Glimmer is nice. I like Glimmer. It's got a low cooldown. Life and Death is whatever. Fury is obviously better than Life and Death, and then Threat and Speed is kind of whatever. But the thing is like Deathly Dagger is really good, and then like they set him up to inherit Poison Strike because they give him A and C skills, and Poison Strike is a B skill, so he's going to do 17 non-lethal true damage out of battle after combat, and that's going to be super OP once Inherited comes out. So I think it's going to be like I don't even know what his stats are, but like as far as like assassins go, like he's very good assassin because this weapon is just very good. So I'm expecting him to be pretty good. And then let me look at the wiki for his stats. But like even without stats, like 17 true damage outside of not lethal true damage is pretty good. So he's got really bad defense and res, which is understandable. He's got really high speed and then pretty high attack. Not like pretty high, but like I think as far as dagger users go, I think 46 is pretty high. I can't tell if that's his plus attack or neutral because they only have 2 values, but yeah, it's like he's gonna have decent attack for a dagger user, and a pretty good health pool. So yeah, I think people are going to want to not use Life and Death because if you do, he's gonna have like just abysmally low res, which is not good. Yeah, I think he's gonna have to, like, I feel like almost giving him like res plus 3 wouldn't be a bad idea. Because the thing is, as dagger users, like, obviously it doesn't matter what their stats are if they're attacking a melee unit that doesn't have counter. But if they're attacking another archer or a mage, especially mages, like, that's when, like, res stat is needed. Because, like, they're going to counter you, obviously, so, like, you kind of have to survive the hit. Otherwise, you're not going to proc the Deathly Dagger and the Poison Strike. So, I can't tell if this is just, like, something wrong with my phone, but this is called Poison Strike, and it has this extra ability of 7 non-lethal true damage after combat. Rebecca, aside from having weird eyes, is looks kind of whatever. If she has a really high health pool, she might be nice. Because the problem with the other Ardent Sacrifice users is that they have low health. Like, Lind has like 30-something health, which is like not great if you want to actually be using Ardent Sacrifice. She has 37 HP as well, so that kind of is low for giving up 10 HP to an ally. So Silver Bow is whatever. We just got Klein, so like Silver Bow is just like why would you ever take Rebecca over Takumi or Klein or Gordon or George? Like, you wouldn't. So she's just kind of, you can pass down Darting Blow or pass down Seal Attack if you want that. She's not going to, I don't think she's going to be very good. Lucius. Pain is good. Martyr is, not. Like, I think Martyr is, I haven't used any healers with Martyr, so I don't really know, but it kind of looks like you want to use Pain to actually do damage, and then, like, if you're attacking other ranged units, you're going to be taking damage back, so you can use Pain to deal damage, and then you can, like, use Martyr on your allies to heal them back a lot of damage, since you'll have suffered some damage. And then plus HP is nice, because obviously he wants to have a wide HP pool for, like, the maximum amount of damage taken, but not quite dead yet. He's got super high res, and a pretty good HP pool. If HP plus is an A ability, okay, it's an A ability. So this means that there's now 2 possible A abilities that you can pass to healers if you have to stay within like healers to only pass to healers and stuff like that. Because Clarion has res plus 3, which is an A ability, and now there's Lucius plus 5 health, which isn't great as far as like A abilities go, but since like if you have to stick to healers, then he's probably just going to pass down. He's probably just going to be used to inherit that skill. I think Miracle has such a long cooldown that I'm not really impressed by it. Like, I don't think it's that useful. I'd much rather have, like, the utility of the plus attack bombs or the plus speed bombs. So, yeah, those are my impressions of these units. I'm extremely pleased that I have drawn Ninian, so look out for a Manakete team maybe next week when the arena heroes change. I also have Jaffar, so I'm going to be abusing the Poison Strike with Jaffar when Inheriting Skills comes out. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts about the new heroes in the comments below. I basically always respond, and yeah, I'd love to hear what people think. Thanks for watching again.